According to the World Health Organization, 1 billion people will die from smoking-related illness this century. And our pocketbooks take a hit as well, even if we don't smoke. Joining us now is Dr. Michael Rabinoff. He's the author of the Ending the Tobacco Holocaust, How Big Tobacco Affects Our Health, Pocketbook, and Political Freedom, and What We Can Do About It. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
That's pretty strong language, the tobacco holocaust. It's really that bad?
Yes, as the World Health Organization says, 1 billion people are going to die from this issue in this century, and the numbers of smokers may approach 2.2 billion by 2040 to 2050. Holocaust literally means extensive destruction resulting in massive suffering and death, and that's what's occurring.
Are these people who are actually smoking, or is it second-hand smoke victims?
The data for 1 billion people is just the people who are actually smoking. And I actually think there might be over 100 million other people who will die from secondhand smoke. In the United States, about 400,000 people die from smoking, and another 53,000 die each year from secondhand smoke. So it's about a 1 to 8 ratio. And in the world, there's less protection from secondhand smoke outside the industrialized countries where most of the expansion of smoking is occurring. So I think over 100 million people will die from secondhand smoke.
So with the dangers of smoking being so clear to us now and all the warnings that we hear so often, why do people still make the choice to smoke? I'm not talking about those who are already hooked, but why do people choose to smoke in the first place?
Dr. Stanton Glantz at UCSF has a program to eliminate excess smoking in movies. It turns out the presentation of smoking in movies has doubled from about 1980, and it's thought by scientific research that 390,000 children each year start smoking because of what they see in movies. About 100,000 of them will die from that.
What do you mean children? How old are we talking about here?
Well, young children up to 17. We're talking about underage people.
Oh.
Right. And in your book, you talk a lot about the evils of the tobacco companies and how they are getting people hooked on smoking. Can you outline some of the evils you feel they're committing?
Recently, there's been research published by Harvard and the state of Massachusetts showing that the tobacco companies increased the level of nicotine in cigarettes by over 10% between 1998 and 2005. That's increasing that addictive presence in cigarettes. They also add other chemicals that increase the addictiveness. They change the form of nicotine through extensive chemical engineering to create what is called free-base nicotine, the most addictive form of nicotine, which also is not measured by the FTC machines that measure nicotine. And it's thought that that nicotine gets into the brain faster and has a more addictive effect. Free-base technology is like the difference between cocaine and crack. It becomes a more addictive product when it's free-based.
Right.
They also add other chemicals that become addictive when they're burned in cigarettes. Cigarettes contain 11 to 12% of sugars in them, and when the specific sugars that are used in cigarettes burn, they form a chemical called acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde was found by Philip Morris scientists to cause rats to bar press, a sign of addiction. They would bar press for nicotine, and when they got the combination of acetaldehyde and nicotine, they would bar press the most.
Okay, so let's limit the science for just a moment. We understand that there are chemicals in tobacco that are addictive. And then there's advertising, which influences people's decisions to smoke. But how are non-smokers affected?
Non-smokers are affected, first of all, on the health level, on the financial level. We talked about 53,000 Americans dying from smoking. Millions of kids end up in the emergency room each year from asthma, or in medical offices, pneumonia, ear infections because of secondhand smoke. Also, financially, we're all affected. In 1995 to 1999, the Surgeon General estimated that the cost of smoking to our economy is $157.7 billion. When you add in medical inflation, regular inflation, the cost of secondhand smoke, and other factors, I think it's about $250 billion a year, which we all bear, whether we're a smoker or not. So that means the average taxpayer, even though they don't smoke, if they're a non-smoker, their burden, is over $1,600 a year. And for every man, woman, and child in the United States, the burden is about $835. So it affects us all. There was a study on the web yesterday in the recent Journal of Tobacco Control. And in that journal, they showed in a study that the average smoker is sick 8 days more per year than the average non-smoker. So that affects the work productivity of our nation. It also affects the other workers who have to take up those efforts. It affects people on a financial level about how much they're going to be paid by their boss, because their boss has to figure in higher health care costs because of the smoking, so they can pay their employees less.
Okay, so if people are addicted, we see it in movies, we see it in advertisements, how can we make this shift in changing, you know, all the smoking going on?
I'm hoping that we can act as a caring community and become educated about this problem. We can work with our politicians to get tougher laws passed, increase excise taxes for every 10% increase in the cost of a cigarette pack. It decreases smoking in our country by about 4%. And for children under age teens, it decreases it by 7%. We can try and get our president to send the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control to the Congress to get ratified. The United Nations has a program, the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, that was ratified by over 140 countries. We signed it as a country but never ratified it.
And very quickly, on a personal level, in the home, what can parents say to kids to take the glamour out of smoking for them?
Well, we have to educate our children in a compassionate, loving way about the problem and not be confrontative. I think it's important for parents to know how much of an economic burden this will be for the child if they start smoking. An 18-year-old who starts smoking at 18 and smokes a pack a day through age 65, if it's costing $6 a pack, will be spending over $2,000 a year, which would be $96,000 by 65. However, if they took that $2,000 a year and put it in a Roth IRA, let it compound, tax-free, at 65 they'd have $2.9 million in their account that they could use and pull out tax-free.
Wow, thanks for putting that in perspective.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
very
much
much
for your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Really appreciate it. Well, ladies, that's not you.
Don't look at me.
It's time. Sexy, handsome, and he can cook. Celebrity chef Curtis Stone joins us next.
That's what they want.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Excuse me. You're trying to find some nice wine. How are you?
Oh my gosh!
What's your name?
I'm Lindsay.
Lindsay,
You're
I'm Curtis.
I know you are. You're so tall.
And are you cooking dinner for someone tonight?
Yes,
Who?
my boyfriend.
So you're looking for something
Yes.
special?
Yes, definitely.
How about a special chef to come back and cook dinner for the two of you?
Yes.
Gosh, if he showed up at the grocery store, I'd be like, what boyfriend? What boyfriend? I don't have a boyfriend. Just come on over, help me cook.
That's why they call him the take-home chef.
Yeah, that was a clip from Take Home Chef on TLC featuring Curtis Stone, and he's also been named one of People's Sexiest Men Alive in People magazine. From easy to adventurous, Curtis is known for his everyday recipes the whole family can enjoy, and he's the author of this new book, Cooking with Curtis. Please welcome Curtis Stone.
Hey,
Hi, Curtis. How are you?
Good to see you.
So, man, what? Tell us why you decided to become an author now, too, to add that to your list.
Oh, you know, because I didn't have enough on my plate, so I thought I better think of something else to do.
You know, what does the book aim for? Like, what type of people?
It's all about seasonality, so it's split up into the 4 seasons, and then for each season there's 6 of my favourite ingredients, and then 3 recipes for each ingredient. So one's easy, one's everyday, and one's adventurous. So easy, medium, and hard. So
What
it
are
just
we doing
teaches people how to cook.
That's cool. What are we doing today?
We're doing a pizza.
Is
What
that
do you-
easy, medium, or hard?
What do you like with a pizza dough? So you just do it like this, and you sort of slowly pull it apart with your knuckles. Okay, so give me 2
can do
fists.
that.
2 knuckles?
2 fists.
Okay.
There you go. Now just slowly pull it apart and give it a twist. That's it. Almost. And one more. Come on, Spencer, show me your stuff, mate.
Takes practice.
No, a little twist.
Oh, wow.
Look at Spencer
Wow.
go. You know, he worked in a pizza
Well, I
shop.
got natural rhythm.
Wow, man. I'm impressed. That's good. That's perfect.
No holes. No holes. Look at that.
Wow.
Holy pizza dough.
Thank you.
Now-
I'm not as flustered as you are. She's never been so inarticulate in her life before this
That's
segment.
not true. Oh my gosh, you just touched me.
Now,
She also has never sweat so much.
they call me the take-home chef, but I've got another idea. I was sort of thinking maybe I could be the Playboy chef.
No. In America, that's the Playgirl chef.
Oh.
Playboy would be me.
Right, okay.
Because, those are the,
The bunny.